Today we're talking about the Fibonacci, one of the most underrated tools that MT5 platform has to offer. This is actually the best that I've ever come across so far. That's why am I making this video is because one of you commented that I should go more into depth with this strategy, right? So it's the flip zones and this Fibonacci strategy, right? So how to set up these levels, right? So I haven't set up the levels yet. I'm going to show you and we're going to do it together. So if you haven't checked the video that I was commented, you can check it down in the I'll leave a comment. I'll leave it in the comment section or in the description, but you can check it out and see the strategies that you want me to post more on. And if you've got any other in mind, you can post them. And thank a big shout out to you, because I would really appreciate the people who give me feedback and ask whenever they've got any questions. So if you've got any questions throughout this video, leave them in the comment section down below and I will address them. The Fibonacci is how do you actually use it, right? So the Fibonacci is actually very good to use, especially when you don't know much about order blocks and all that stuff. This tool will help you in order to mark out some order blocks. You all know that they're order blocks, but that's essentially one and the same thing, right? So how are we going to set this up? Before we go out to set them up, let me just show you how the Fibonacci works. When are you supposed to use the Fibonacci, right? So let me just delete this. We use the Fibonacci. Let's say we only use it in a trending market, right? That's where it works best. Right? So let's say we're in an uptrend, just like in this example over here. So we're in an uptrend, right? So we've got this low. When it gets broken, and this gets broken, we've got a pullback and it gets broken again. This is the trend, right? So how do you go about this, right? So now that we know that we're in an uptrend, right, we're continuously bringing a structure to the upside. How do you know when to use the Fibonacci, right? So when we've got this bullish move, we draw our Fibonacci. When the market starts pulling back, that's when we draw our Fibonacci, right? So when the market is pulling back, right, so maybe it's over there, that's when you draw your Fibonacci. You'll be marking this low to that high, and you mark your Fibonacci. And when there's a pullback comes, when it comes to our optimum entries, our optimum entry levels, that's when we take that trade and we hold. So I'm going to show you the levels next, right? So it only works, we only use it when it's in a trending market only, right? So if it's a downtrend, it's one and the same thing, right? We've got something like this, we're trending downwards, right, and we're continuously breaking structure to the downside. When it starts to pull back over here, that's when you draw your Fibonacci, marking from this high to this low. And when it pulls back to our specific OTE levels, that's when we take the trade. So when it reaches these levels, we take our trade going down, right? So how do you set this up, the levels up, right? So let me just show you the magic of this strategy, right? So you select the Fibonacci, right, and I'm going to show you an example of the trade that I'm currently in right now that I used this strategy, right? It's on Book 500, right? So after this, right, after drawing your Fibonacci over here, how do you set it? You long press the Fibonacci, then you click this pencil over here, right? You want to edit these levels, right? So after editing that, go to levels where it says levels over here, levels. So what I want you to do right here is to delete all these other levels, all this, leave the 0.5 and we change this to 0.62. You can leave the 1, delete all these levels. In these descriptions also, I'm going to give you very neat descriptions that you can use in order to understand it much better and make lots of profit, make lots of money, right? So right now that this is done, right, so what we're going to do is we're going to install these levels. I'm going to show you which levels to put over here, levels that we're going to be using. The first level is level 0. Then after the level 0, we go to the level 0.5, and then we go to 0.62, and then after 0.62 we go to 0.7 and 0.79. It's 79 over here. Then we go to level 1. That's that for that. And then for the negative levels, I want you to put level negative this negative way. Select negative 0.27, then negative 0.62, and then negative 1. Right, then I want you to take note of the specific levels, descriptions that I'm going to put on each level, right? So the level 0, that's our scaling TP. Then the level 0.5 is 0.5, sorry, let me just put 50% OTE, 50% equilibrium. And then for the level 0.62, we're going to put 62%. I'm going to put this small letter OTE because it's not very perfect, right? Then for the 0.7, it's 70% OTE. I'm going to put this in caps because these are our favorite spots to enter, right? So it's 70% OTE. And then 0.79 is 79% OTE in caps again, in capital letters. Then for the level 1, That's our SL stop loss. That's our stop loss. Then I'm going to label this TP1, and then negative 0.162. I'm going to label it TP2. Then this is the symmetrical TP. I'm going to show you exactly what that means in a bit, right? Symmetrical TP. And after you set this up, you can take a screenshot of this so that you install this after you've watched this video completely, because if you want this strategy to help you, you have to watch it till the end in order for me to describe to you how each level works and how you can enter using this strategy, right? Then we're going to click done. So now that I've set up our levels, so what do these levels mean, right? So let me just zoom in, reduce this, right? So let's take this for example. Let's take this example over here, right? We broke the structure, right? We broke it, right? So it means that we are going what? It's now in an uptrend. The trend is now in an uptrend, right? So what do you have to do, right? You mark from the lowest. Let me delete this so that I show you how you can mark it, right? So what you have to do now is, since we broke structure, this is the move that broke the structure, right? So that's what we want to mark. So you take your Fibonacci. We're drawing what? The upside. So you start from the lowest point going up in order for you to draw the Fibonacci, right? Slowest, then we go up, right? We mark the highest point over here and the lowest point. That's what you do. This we want, right? Now after setting this up, we've got this move right over here, and now we've got this move over here that broke what? That broke the structure. Now that level, that we're pulling back, the levels that we're mainly going to be using is the 50 to the 79, or even a little bit beyond. That's what we're going to be using for our entries mainly, right? So if it comes back to the level 50, you can take an entry. Level 62, you can take an entry. 70 or 79, you can take an entry. But I personally prefer that we take entries on the level of 70 and 79 over here, 70 and 79. Why do I prefer those levels? Mainly because the stop loss will be smaller. As you can see, the distance between our entry and our stop loss will be what? Will be much smaller. Let's take this for example, right? So if you're comparing, if you take an entry over here and if you take an entry over there, of course this 50 level can work most of the times, but you're increasing the risk that you are willing to take, right? And if you just use level 79 or 70, right, even if you are using the scaling TP, that's almost like a 3-to-1 risk to reward, right? That alone, right? So if you are using the level 70 and the 79, you are risking less and targeting more, right? And if you are using the 50 level, you can get more entries, but your stop loss will be larger, as you can see, right, from year to year, right? So when you start pulling back, that's when you draw a Fibonacci, right? When you start pulling back over here, firstly we reached the level 50. It even gave us candlestick confirmations, right? Because it's forming dojis over there. So you could have taken your entry over here, and as you can see, it broke that. You were in loss right now, but though your stop loss is over here, you didn't get hit. Then when it reaches the level 79, it gives a candlestick confirmation, right? So like a railroad track. So after it reaches this level, right, you enter again over here. That's after this first candle there, right? You enter, you take your entry. Then for this first TP, that's when you are going to be, let's say you've got 3 entries, right? You are going to take your profit on the scaling TP. That's your first take profit on the scaling TP. Then for the second TP, every time we reach a TP, that's when you are going to be what? Exiting some of our trades, right? So let's say you've got 4 trades. The first one you close it over here, right? Or the 3 ones, you can close even more entries over here, because most of the times it has to reach the scaling TP. Then you leave some entries running for between what? TP1, TP2 and the symmetrical TP. After it reaches the scaling TP, you exit most of your trades. After reaching TP1, you can adjust your stop loss to level. You take profit to the level TP2 over here and set your stop loss maybe to the 50% equilibrium, right? Now your stop loss is what? Is in profit, right? Then when it reaches the symmetrical TP over here, this is so like the maximum point that we can reach. That's the maximum. It will be overstretched most of the times, and it will reverse quickly, right? Most of the times it doesn't even reach the symmetrical TP, though in this example it did reach the symmetrical TP over here. But it doesn't happen all the time, right? So with the beauty of this strategy is you can use it whenever you see what? A confirmation, right? So this was just one entry, right? You can use this again because we broke structure there, right? You can highlight this lowest point going to what? To this highest point over here. Though this didn't reach, nearly missed our level 70 over here. Let me just draw this perfectly, see if it didn't reach at all. Yeah, it just missed our level 70, right? But it reached our 62% OTE, right? 62%, yeah, it works, but the best levels are the 70 and the 79. And as you can see, you went in profit again, right? So that's how you use this strategy, right? It's very simple to use, right? And it even reached the symmetrical TP again, right? So if you reach the symmetrical TP entry, then you are in luck. You are in very good luck, right? So you can keep using it as long as if you see a breaking market structure. As long as if you see a breaking market structure, you can use your Fibonacci, right? We've got a breaking market structure over there. We've got a breaking market structure over here. With this move over here. So the move that broke the structure, that's where we draw what our Fibonacci, right? So from lowest point going up, that's how you set this up, right? So right over here we reached what, the 70% OTE, right? Over here we reached the 70% OTE. We didn't reach the level 79. So that's when we take our entry. It even gave us a W, and it reached our scaling TP. After reaching our scaling TP, it reversed, right? It didn't reach TP1 and TP2. That's why when we reach scaling TP, you have to move your stop loss to be in profit, right? So let me show you a sales setup example that the current trade that I am in, right? So right over here, what do you have here, right? So this is what the Boom 500 chart. What do we have here? Let me shift to the 5-minute time frame. That's where it's very clear, right? So we've got this move over here. It continuously broke all these structures going to the downside row, right? So it gave me a confirmation that we are going down. We are in a downtrend, right? So after that move, I had to, when it started pulling back over here, I had marked my Fibonacci, right? Let me take my Fibonacci, and now we are drawing to the downside. So we start from the top going down, then I marked it going down over here, marked the lowest point, and from the highest point it started, right? So right over here, from the highest point, that's where my stop loss will be. So if it broke past this point, my stop loss would have been hit, and then right here it came and consolidated between the range 70 and 79, giving me a further confirmation. Though I took this trade late, I used this small move. There's a small move on the 1-minute time frame, right? This move over here on the 1-minute time frame. That's where I took my entry, but I'm not focusing on the 1-minute time frame right now. So you can use this strategy on any time frame. That's what I also mean, because I even dropped down to the 1-minute time frame in order for me to get this perfect trade. After marking out up this chart, right, you've got your very good confirmation over here. Take my entry, right? Scaling TP, exit some of your trades, and as you can see, we just reached TP1 over here, right? So I'm anticipating that it can even drop to the symmetrical TP, because that's where the next order block is, right? As you can see, this range here, right? So we might reach this symmetrical level, but I'm mainly targeting TP2 because I'm not sure if it will reach the symmetrical TP because of this order block over here, because we broke structure to upside over here. So it can come back and reverse over here, because we've got we've got an order block. So we've got we can even draw the Fibonacci over here from this, because we broke this high, we broke it up, right? So we can this can be my TP, right? As you can see. So you can use this to see your potential levels where it might spike, because now I already know that this is the maximum point I can go. So even starting from the level 70, I have to exit all my points, because around level 70, that's where my TP2 is. Let me just know if you have ever used the Fibonacci before, or it's the first time. Right? I'm just curious to know how many people use the Fibonacci. So you can also tell me in the comment section down below. I just want to do a survey to see how many people even knew the Fibonacci works. That's it for this video, guys. If you like the content, like, subscribe, and share. And if you've got any questions, leave them in the comment section down below.